Hello, apple seeds. What are you planting or growing today? So, I had shown some of my cauldron that I was working on, and my own sunny wheel of time made out of a tine that turned soil in the garden. Neither is finished, but we're just doing progress reports. So, that's a bit of my scrying sky. Can you see the gold? How it shines. I really like the different shapes as they undulate in my perception. I see different things in them at different times when I'm laying my cards out. But right now, I was just wanting to give you guys an update on some artwork. It's how I heal. It's how I keep my sanity. Art is not just, pieces we create with crafts and mediums and different substrates. Art is poetry, music, words, dance, of course. So much more. But anyway, I call my daughter Poetry in Motion. So I'm into pyrography, and this is lace. Old lace that was drawn on this box. There will be a music box for my pretty baby girl. This bowl was turned out of some wood by a man I used to attend church with. He's actually an archaeologist now, and his 7 children are grown, but they're a pretty neat family. Anyhow, he turned that wood, and I carved it with a hot blade. The way I do wood burnings is with a tool that cuts the wood as it burns it. I don't know if that's really visible. But I like that because as you can see the grain of the wood, you have to go against it when you're making curves. And that's not easy to do. Sometimes it hems you up. It reminds me of those changes we gotta make in life. But I wanted to take a moment and show you some more of how I go about creating pieces. One is I infuse my spirituality into what I'm creating, and I create a vision, inspiration. It's not always on a board. This is a puzzle board, but for this particular piece, it's large, and I wanted a way I can move things around and switch them up and work freely. I like to integrate things I collect outside on nature walks into my artwork. This is sweet pea vine wood burning I did quite some time ago. I like words too. This was a company that made the pan flute that I have. And no, you don't want to hear me play it. It's not pretty, but it sure does make me happy. Little tea bag notes, because just inspiration. Some really cool ivory I've gotten from someone I used to know. Something painted by my daughter's great aunt, which goes perfectly with ancestors and apples. Even things I find outside. I found this ball and these propellers, which is actually kind of cool, and I use them as part of the stories. Almost everything on here I have found outside or is in a collection of things that I use for art and decor, inspiration, or scrying. But mostly I have found a lot of the things on this board outside this year or made it myself. And here's a little bar of patchouli soap, a little pie, a little penguin, a compass, a rusty nail, an encased needle, measuring spoons, sharpener, a cool little Viking hair bead with pretty feathers that I found from a chickadee, a little bluebird, and a finch. But the finchy one isn't showing its colors that well. some moss and mushrooms under my feet. Some unusual seed pods I found this year. Look, planting seeds, new seeds, creative seeds. Look at these guys. Isn't that like the biggest freaking acorn? And that was the thing too. Not only did I find unusual seeds, like this acorn does not look like that acorn, but that did come from an acorn tree. They all popped out and I saved their fuzzy tops. Thought they were really cool. Anyway, these are old costume pieces my grandma wore. Ooh, we got gay Jesus practicing bondage, and he likes starfish. Just playing along. In case you didn't know, I've been human trafficked. I have some interesting images online of myself, so I just joke about them. The starfish refers to my butthole. Anyway, we've got some runes, and these I have carved onto my cauldron. It's very important to me that honor goes with my messages, that they be successful and a life force, and that it is a gift, both in the sense of sacrifice, balance, exchanges. These two symbols are on the palms of my hands. I really like menas. It's there 3 times on one palm, reminding me of my attitude towards others and how it affects their attitude towards me. You know, that's a hard lesson to learn. Word. But it all comes together, doesn't it? And anyway, witches and angels and fairies, oh my. Witches and angels and fairies. Which am I? Depends on the day of the week. We're going to incorporate those onto the cauldron. So when I do that, I need to have a drawing on paper. Then I put that with carbon under it and put it onto my wood. Because again, the grain of the wood, it's a lot of drawing. So we draw it once over there on paper, a second time tracing it with carbon underneath it and the wood I'm going to burn. And then the third time I draw it will be with the blade burner pen stylus thingamadoozy that goes to 400 degrees and burns my hand sometimes. There's a slow and steady process, but that will create the burned image on there. Something like that. And then I will color it with oil pencils. They are smaller and more versatile than pastels, less messy and more portable than paints. I love my oil pencils, and then you can oil them, which you need to do over time anyway to make the color pop out. You gotta oil that wood just like you gotta oil your wood, you know what I mean? And so anyway, here's little trinkets that my daughter used to play with. Little thing I made of her to inspire her Grammy. I've shown that before, but she is the love of my life, aside from myself. I love myself. Is that such a crime? I don't know. It seems to have people wanting to do time over it in my world. But yeah, I'm also working on poetry, my birth history, some books, more ideas for helping others and spreading love around the world. So I'll be making some other videos today about relationships and love, how we can show that, trying to help people heal through things. We've been through a lot. This world, this planet, all of us, we've been through so much. And yeah, we need to love each other. We need to love each other. And I know we can. And anyway, I love you all. I want to talk about these things. I want to gather us all together. So let's plant some new seeds for the future, grow a whole fucking new orchard, and share the fruits of our labors with those around us, so that the poor needn't graze and the rich needn't pilfer. We can just share what we know, how we grow, how we love. Because in my opinion, no matter what the problem is, love is the answer. Word. Let's talk about it.